Hello, let us talk about Jenkins continuous build system. A continuous integration system are vital for any agile team because they help enforce the idea of agile development. Jenkins continuous build tool enable a team to focus on their work by automating the build, artifact management, and deployment processes. Jenkins core functionality and flexibility allow us to fit a variety of environments and can help us streamline the development process for any stakeholders involved. Continuous integration. Continuous integration is a software deployment practice where the member of team integrate their work frequently. Usually each people integrate at least daily, lead to multiple integration per day. Each integrate is verified by a automated to detect integration error as quick as possible. What is integrated? Integrated means all changes are till the point that are combined into the project. So I have the multiple changes, I can combine it and I can form a integrated. What is build? The code is compiled into the executable or the package that we call as a build. What is a test? Automated test suites are run, that is called as a test. So I have the number of cases I run that call as a test, and after doing the test we call as a tested. What is archived? Versioned and stored so that it can be distributed as it if desired. So I have the data which is stored and distributed. When it is required I can use, that is called as a archived. What is deployed? Loaded into the system where developer can integrate with it. So once I can load into the system and where my developer can integrate with it, so I can say this is deployed. Now let us focus the whole architecture of CI, that is continuous integration. So we have the code repository. The code repository can be anything like Git. So where my developer can work and place their code on the Git. Why we use the Git? Git is a version control tool. So I have the multiple branches where my developers are working. Once I feel that this code is working proper, I can save it into my master branch. And from master branch, I can pull that code into my continuous build system. Continuous build system have multiple plugins to build the projects. By using the continuous system, I can build my project and I can save those into the executable or packages. At the same time, if any error or problem findings is occurred, I can save into the testing result, and I will move into solving that issue and doing my continuous integrations. If I feel that this integration need development, I can send to my developer. They will rewrite the code and they will push into the code repository. Again, I will go on the continuous build system. I will build it. If error find, I will report it. If it is run successful build, I will save into the executable package and I can continue with my deployment process. What are the benefit of using the CI? Immediate bug detection. No integration steps in the life cycle. A deployable system at any given point. Record the evolution of the project. So these are the benefit I can get from the integration tool. There are multiple build integration systems are available like Jenkins, Bamboo, etc. But more organizations are moving Jenkins because Jenkins has a lot of contributions from the developer. They develop a lot of plugins, and in Jenkins to develop the plugin or to write your own plugin, it's very open system. So anyone can write the plugin for any tools. Let's focus on what are the area where we can use the Jenkins. So where Jenkins can be used, Jenkins can be used in any development area where we are developing our product, where we are developing our software, where we are developing our infrastructure. In that area, Jenkins can play the role of continuous integration, because Jenkins is highly configurable system by itself. So we can have the number of plugins that is provided by the community. We can use those plugins and we can start our integration. So I have the Git, I can integrate my Git with the Jenkins. I have the end system where I have to execute this code. So I can schedule this all and I can just mark it as an active job. It will go and execute and it provides the test result to us. So it's very smooth system where we can check all the build, where we can find out all the error in the form of good report. So it will save a lot of time for any organization to do the integration with the help of Jenkins. The important thing about Jenkins is a free, which come under the MIT license. There are the large support community and there are the lot of documents is already written on the Jenkins. We can use those documents and we can do our continuous integration by using those plugins and by using those documents. What Jenkins can do for us, it can generate a test reports. It can integrate with many different version control systems. An example is Git. Push the various artifacts to the repositories. We can deploy directly to the production or test environment. And with the help of Jenkins, we can keep notifying about our build status to our stakeholders. So these are the advantages we can get it from the Jenkins. Hello everyone, let us focus on build cycle. Any product start from the development, and in development process, the team and the collectively people start writing the code to gain the product functionality. So all the developers here, we can see they write the code, and those code we are going to push into the version control system. Version control system manage and maintain the code, and it manages the versions of the code, and that code can be used by continuous integration tool. Continuous integration tool can be set in different mode, maybe automatic, so once the code change it should start the build process, or it should, maybe we can fix the date wise at every month end it should see the changes on the version control and start the build process, or we can maintain it manually, so when we trigger it, it should run the build process. So based on the configuration we have done in the continuous integration tool, it's perform the action accordingly. So let's say example, we got and some source code change. Continuous integration will start the build, it will test it, and it will try to sync it. If this process goes well, test is success and sync is success, it will publish it. So publishing means we got an build success, and that success build we are going to save into the artifacts. Artifacts is not only the data, but it's an executable code. So it's an executable script we can see. It can be any set of runnable commands or set of packages. So those things can be easily used in the deployment. So it maybe depends on the kind of software we are building or kind of infrastructure we are building. So it's depend on what kind of artifacts we gathered. But the artifacts are the deployment script that can be easily deployed to build the whole software product or whole functionality of that model. So let's say example, we got an deployment script, and that deployment script we are now handing over to our next stage, that is a testing. In testing, those scripts can be used to build a QA environment, or we can test into the pre-prod. And if our this QA and pre-prod works well, we can simply take the backup and of that code and deploy that into the production environment. If something in this stage in testing it goes not well, it's come back to developer, and developer again write it the fixes or write it the code again, and again push it to version control software, and again build process start. So again build process start. If it is fine, it publish it, it gets saved into the artifacts create a packages and runnable script for us, and those script again we are going to hand over to our testing team going to use those deployment script and perform their deployment based on the requirement like QA, testing, pre-prod. And if this works fine, we can use that deployment script to deploy our production environment. And once the production environment is run well and it got success, we are going to release that into the operation. So now here our whole handover is given to the operation do the continuous improvement, and this whole cycle goes same again. If something comes back from the operation for the improvement, again it goes to the developer start from the writing a code, again continuous integration, again after that we are going to do the build, after build we are going to test and again release it. So this whole cycle we follow for the improvement for the new products. And in same way we have the 4 stages in complete build, that is development, continuous integration, testing, and production. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back. We start the installation of Jenkins. So to start the installation, first we need Java on the system. So we'll check with the help of Java hyphen version command. So it seems this command is run successfully, and we have the open JDK that is 1.80, and open JDK 64-bit server, that is VM virtual machine is running. So Java is installed on this server. If not, we can we can go on the Java page here, and we can check it out appropriate Java for our server. So if we are running the 64-bit, then we can download the appropriate RPM from here and we can install it. So we can check the command uname -i. So here we'll get the architecture 64-bit and we can download the appropriate one. Now let's set up a Git. So Git is a version control tool. So if we set up a Git from this system to our Git account, so we do not have to every time do the manual process. So it will automatically push the code from here and it will store on the Git. So to check the Git is installed or not, so we'll give the command git --version. So Git is also installed. Now next part is to set up a Git. To set up a Git is a 3-step process. The step number 1 is to generate a new SSH key. Step number 2, we have to add this SSH to SSH agent, and we have to add the key on the GitHub. All right, so we'll begin with the first step, that is generating the SSH key. So we'll run the command SSH -keygen and -p rsa, and let's example we want to give the size to 4096 and our account. So I'm giving my account name here. So we have successfully generated a key, that is a private and public RSA key. Now let's move on to add our SSH key to SSH agent. For that, we have to make sure our SSH agent is running. So we'll say here on terminal eval, and in double quote we'll write SSH hyphen agent hyphen s and bracket close. So it says agent PID is 16470. So we have checked that SSH agent is running in the background. All right. Now we have to set the private key to SSH agent. So we'll say SSH hyphen add, and here we have to provide our the ID, that key just we have generated, and it's a private key. So it successfully added our private key to SSH agent. Now let's copy the SSH key to our clipboard. So we'll say cat to dot SSH, and under SSH we have ID underscore RSA dot pub. So this is a public key that we have generated. So we'll copy this key without an white space. Now, once we copy this key, we have to log in on our GitHub account. And in GitHub account, we have to click on our profile and settings. So under settings, we have to go option called as SSH and GPG key. And here we have already added one key. So we'll say new SSH, and in new SSH we can give the some title. So I will just give the title something like this, and here we have to paste that key, and we have to say add SSH, and it will ask for our GitHub account password to validate. So the key is added. Now we have successfully added the key. Let's do the some clone from here. So we'll say here clone and download. So we have to copy this complete address. We'll come on the Linux box. Here we'll say git clone and the address we have copied. We'll say yes. Now we can say the system is automatically recognized and it's downloaded the code for us. So whatever the code is on GitHub, that code we have just cloned by using the git clone command. So in this video we have seen how to install Java, and also we have set up our Git account so it will recognize this system while doing any pull and push request from the system. Thank you so much. Hello, let us start with the installation of Jenkins. So to install the Jenkins, we have to download the Jenkins. So first we'll go on the Jenkins official website, and here we can see that pkg.jenkins.io, and we are into the Red Hat section. So all the versions of Jenkins are available here. So we'll get the Jenkins for the Red Hat, and the same package will work for the CentOS as well. So we'll run the command wget-o and that repo. So we'll copy the command wget and we'll come on our terminal and just download it. So we'll check through ls and we can see here in ls minus ltr. So in this previous command which we have executed, it will going to add the repo not in the current directory, but it will add into the etc yum.repos.d. So we'll move here yum.repos.d and here we can do the Jenkins cat. So this repository got added and its GPG check 1 is there, so we need to import the key. So we'll use the command rpm hyphen hyphen import, and after that the name of the website from where the key is there. Now we'll run. So Jenkins base URL is configured and the repository name is Jenkins. Now we have to install the Jenkins package. So repo is configured successfully. Now let's install yum install Jenkins. So this will start the installation from the Jenkins repository. So it will take a few minutes to get installed. So we can see that the package Jenkins is already found here and it's saying that it will be going to install. So here it says package name Jenkins and the version is 2.76. Repository is coming from Jenkins and total size is 70 MB only. Now it's asking for permission. We'll say yes. This is okay to install. Now it's downloading the package. So installation is in progress. So it's about to install the Jenkins and now installation is completed. It's verifying the Jenkins. It's like a few seconds to verify and it finally says completed. So now we have successfully installed the Jenkins package. Now let us start the service. We'll say system ctl start Jenkins and just give enter. So it will going to start the service. Now let us check the status. So it says Jenkins service is active and running and fine. Now let us make the service on at boot time. So it's executing sbin check config Jenkins on. That's fine. Now let us list the service whether it's enabled in boot time or not. So we'll say sbin check config and the service name is Jenkins. We'll say hyphen hyphen list. So here it says it's on in all the different run levels. Now we have to make sure port 8080 is open. So we'll say netstat tunlp and we'll say grep to Java because Java process will be listening on port 8080 and this whole Jenkins is developed in Java. So we have to ensure this port is running and the service name Java is listening on port 8080. Now it's time to check our Jenkins from the web browser from other systems. So we get this system, and from here we'll type the IP address and we'll make the query on port 8080. Now when we do this first time, it will ask us to unlock the Jenkins. So this page will come, unlock Jenkins. So we have to copy this file, the location of this file, and on the server we'll read this file for the password. So we got an password. We'll copy this password and paste it over here. Now it unlocking the Jenkins for us. Let's take a few minutes to initialize the settings. Now it says customize Jenkins, install the suggested plugin. So by default, it will start installing the suggested plugin. So it's configuring all required plugin and it's completed. The first time it will ask us to create admin account. So we'll say here admin account as a admin1 and we'll set the password and we have to re-enter the same password. So we have set up the first admin account and it's give us a message Jenkins is ready. We have to click on start using Jenkins. So it will take few seconds and it will load on the welcome page. So this is welcome to Jenkins, and here we'll going to create a project and we'll do our build test and all the admin things we can do from here. Thank you. Hello everyone. Today we are going to see automated and continuous testing. In automated and continuous testing, we will using the set of tools to achieve the automated and continuous testing. Let us focus on what is automated testing. The test can be carried out by any automation tool will call as automated testing, and with the help of Jenkins we can perform the continuous testing, so we do not have to manually repeat those steps that can be easily done by the Jenkins. All right, so to achieve the automated testing or tool based testing, what are the requirement and how to perform it, and what is the complete life cycle of automated and continuous testing. So we have defined this all process in 5 steps. The first steps where we write the code, it's a initial stage which is called as coding. All right. So the coding can be in any language. So maybe I can write a code in the Java or Python, but the scope of that code should be perform that test. All right, carried out those tests. So in our example, we have used the Selenium as a automation tool. So Selenium can easily do the automation testing. So to perform the automation testing using Selenium, we need some IDE. So basically, IDE is an interface where we write the program, and Eclipse is a more popular IDE to write the programs. All right, so we use the Eclipse IDE, and after that we'll bring the Selenium with Eclipse. All right, so we'll use the Eclipse with Selenium to write our code. Right, once the we have done with our coding part, we have to put that code into the precise way so that can be easily presented for the next operation. All right. So why we are doing this, why we need to perform the precise code and create a batch or create a script and all right, because Jenkins have its own way to look at that input data. Jenkins do not have any features that can be easily, Java code can be directly created and get executed. So Eclipse is not works in that way. Eclipse works, all the detail should be available with that script. All right. So we need the test ng here. So step number 2, we are going to use the test ng to create an XML file. So test ng easily converts our code, that is source code, into the XML file, and that XML we are going to use to create a script. All right. If we are operating on Windows, we'll create a batch script. If we are operating on Linux, we'll create a shell script. So this scripts is gonna create from this file, XML file. All right. And this XML file will generate from the test engine. Now test engine have a few requirements, few prerequisites. One is our source code, another is all the dependency is with this XML file. So when we create or execute this XML file, I, all the dependency should be with XML file. Otherwise, this execution will fail. So let's say example, if I need 10 libraries, 2 binaries, right? So that should be with this test ng. So when we execute this test ng file, that is XML file, this binary and the library gonna support that. If library and binary is missing while executing the test ng, it will going to fail. All right. So in our practical session, we'll see how this works. All right. So once we create the XML file, we'll create a script. All right. So once a script is created, and that script can be easily configured in the Jenkins to do the executions. All right. So that execution can be easily scheduled. So let's say example, I need every weekend this testing should work, because all 4 days development team and the testing team works, and finally they want to see the reports. So we can schedule it, and notification will be sent to appropriate teams. All right. So this all features we're gonna explore it, and this 5-step process is very straightforward. First, we write a code. Second, we create a XML file using testng. We'll create a batch file or shell script, and after that, we'll place that or configure that batch file into the Selenium, into the Jenkins, and Jenkins takes care of our execution, and Jenkins takes care of our scheduling. So we can easily achieve automated and continuous testing with the help of Selenium, testng, and Jenkins. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see what are the different software required to perform the automated and continuous testing. To do that, we'll follow this slide. As we discussed, we have 5-step process to perform the automated and continuous testing. So first we'll see how we can install the Jenkins on Windows system. So just I will open my browser. I will type Jenkins downloads. It will take me on Jenkins official site. Here we have 2 different versions. So always I will choose the stable version, because stable version have already tested, and people are already using it, and those who want to explore new feature, they can go for weekly release one. So it's recommended to go for the stable. and just I will click on Windows, so it will start downloads. So already I have downloaded this over here, so this one. So just I have to right click and extract all. So it will give you MSI, that is window installer. We have to click on next, and here for me it's already installed, so it will ask me to remove or repair. So for you, just we have to click on next, and after that we have to finish it. Once we finish, the service get created. So that service we can check in services. I will say view local services. So here Jenkins, and the status is started. It will automatically start once we install the Jenkins software. At the first, when we install, we can access on the local host by just saying localhost dot colon 8080 port number, and once we access it, it will ask you to enter the password first time, and for that it will provide you the location. So for me, the password already I have entered it, so I got this password. So this password you will get on the first page when you uh, access the Jenkins. All right, and uh, and the location for the password will be also mentioned when we log in on first time on localhost 8080. You will get the location, and just you have to open that location and you will get the password. All right. So here, once we enter the password, it will ask you to install the default plugins. So for me, these are the default plugins which is already in progress of installation. So a lot of plugin is already installed, and some of the plugin is in progress. So this takes some time to get installed on the plugins. And once we install this plugin, our Jenkins will be ready to do the actions. The Jenkins will be ready to build the jobs. So as of now, we can see almost all the plugins are installed. Email extension plugin installation is in progress, so it will take a few seconds, or now it's got installed. Now it will ask you to create a admin account. So I will create a one account for me, and I will set up a password. So once this is done, I have to say here save and finish, and start using Jenkins. Now our Jenkins installation is completed on Windows system, and it's a similar GUI the one we installed on the Linux. So no changes here, but this is running on the Windows platform, because Jenkins can run in almost all the platforms. So if we go on the downloads, here we can see that it's available for different platforms. Even in the Docker we can run, even on the Mac we can run, even on the open source operating system like Debian, Red Hat, OpenSUSE. All right. So once we download and install, this account get created. Now here we have to do the job creations. So before we move ahead and create a job, let uh, install another software, Selenium, TestNG, and all. So we'll follow that installation in the next video. Thank you. Hello everyone. In last video we have seen to install the Jenkins on Windows system. So this part of installation is over. Why we are doing this? We are gonna do the automated and continuous testing by using these tools. So today we are going to see how to install Eclipse IDE on Windows systems. So guys, it's very important to pick the right Eclipse version because Eclipse have n number of different versions available, and some of the versions not support some of the compilers, Java compilers. So let's say example, if you want to execute your code in Java 1.7, few of the versions of Eclipse only support Java compiler 1.4. They will not support 1.7. So it's very important to pick the right Eclipse, so you will not face any issue while executing the Java code while doing the automation testing. So we'll download the Eclipse Kepler, and once Eclipse Kepler is download, we are gonna install it. So this is a page from where we can download the Eclipse Kepler. Is 4.3.2. So here I will say 64-bit edition because my OS is 64-bit. So how will cross check? It's going computer here is operating system 64-bit. So just give a click on download. Now so you can see here that download seen in progress. So I will cancel it because I have that already downloaded. So here this will get downloaded, and just you have to right click and extract that either through WinRAR or through unzip. So it will come here in the form of directory, and inside that you will have the directory Eclipse. So this is the application executable file, and once we run it, it will open the Eclipse. And once you done with Eclipse installation, we have to uh, download and install the Selenium and TestNG. So we'll install that in our next video. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back. In last video we have installed Eclipse IDE. Today we are going to install the next part, that is TestNG. So we need to first open our Eclipse. So we have here unzip it, and here is a Eclipse. So we're gonna open the Eclipse, and we're gonna start installation of TestNG. So here I see the two versions. So I will check another one. Yes, it looks same. So to avoid confusion, we can delete one of this. So I have removed the number of Eclipse which was in the same directory. So we have only one. So we'll go ahead and start the Eclipse application. So once we start the Eclipse application, it asks for workspace. So by default, it goes into the user's home directory. So my user is Dell, so it's going under Dell, and it will create a workspace directory. So if you want, it should not ask this every time. So we can give a check here. So it will do not ask again. and it will set a workspace directory inside user's home directory. If we want to change that to some other location, we can just select from here and we can select as per our choice. Just give a click. Okay. Sometime might you will face that Eclipse is not starting. So in that case, it's highly recommended to check the Java path. If Java path is not properly set, might Eclipse fails to start without any error. So in that case, we need to check. And it's very important to note the log location of Eclipse IDE. So it's by default go in users del in the same workspace directory as we just saw. This metadata. This metadata have the file called as this without name. It's a .log file. So by default, if any failed or error or mishap happen, in that case, that all the log is going to be notified here. So it's highly recommended to check the log if we face any issue, and if Java path is not properly set. So in that case also might you will see your Eclipse is not starting. So in that case we need to go in computer properties and we have to click in advanced system settings, and in advanced option we'll have the environment variable, and here we have to select the path for the user and path for the system. So in the both path need to be, so for me I will just check path. So if we can check here, Java is already here. C program file Oracle Java path. So it's set already. So just we click on OK and we'll go in Eclipse again. So here, just so it's look like this. This is a project explorer, and here we write the code. This is the output console. So all the progress we can see here, even our if any error occur in the code, we can see the error. And here we have the other option like task list and outline and all. So usually these three areas are very important when we do the coding and compile the code and build the code. All right. Now next part is as we discussed, we need a test ng. So to install the test ng, Eclipse have their Eclipse marketplace. So we have to go in Eclipse marketplace. It will search all the plugins available in marketplace. So it takes few seconds to list out all the plugins available, and after that we have a find here. From the find we can search the appropriate plugin. So these are the plugins. So we are interested in testng, so we'll type testng and we'll give a enter. It's there. So we'll ask to install it. So this is very important. We can note down it's coming from this URL. So in latest version, we will not have the marketplace. In that case, they have uh, to install or to add this URL manually, and after that, we're gonna get the appropriate plugins. So it's like few minutes to pull out all the files and install this plugin. So let's bring Marvin optional. So as of now, we not require this one. So we'll just uncheck it and we'll say test ng is fine. We'll on confirm. So it's a nothing to update. So that means it's already there. So how we can check it out if it is already there? So we have to again go in Eclipse Marketplace, and this time we have to click on installed option. So it will check all the plugins which is already installed in our system. So it's like few seconds to load it. Yep. So here we have testng, which is already installed. All right. So here we have successfully installed the testng plugin. Hello everyone. So far we have installed Eclipse IDE, testng, and Jenkins. Now today we are going to install Selenium. To install Selenium, we have to go in Google and say Selenium, and just hit enter, and if we say web drive download, so it will take on more appropriate page. So here we see Selenium standalone server 3.5.3. So this one is a recent, so we'll just give a click on download. So it will download the jar file. So I have already, so I will just discard it and we'll go in the download directory. So here I can see Selenium server standalone is already downloaded. Now, next video we'll see how to add the Selenium jar in our project and to use it. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see to create a project and use the necessary jar for automation testing. So to create any automation project, we have to first create a simple project in Eclipse IDE. So here we select Java project. We'll click on next and the name of project. We'll see here Selenium underscore automation web, and we'll select here default JRE. We'll click on next. Here it will create a source. Inside this source, all the Java class and appropriate jars is going to be located. So we'll select SRC as default. We'll go in the project, nothing to do in that tab. And here we have to include other library as well. So already we can see JRE library is there. So let's add an external jar. So as of now, we are doing Selenium automation. So we have to say Selenium server standalone jar. So it will just import it. Now we have to add another library, that is testng. So we'll click on finish. So here it will get added, and in this way we can see a lot of libraries already there. So that's it. So just click on finish. Okay, so this is how it's look like. We have here JRE library. We have here Selenium 3.3, and we have test engine. And here we can see, as of now, no Java project is created. So to create an Java, so we'll say new. So basically, this project is created, but we have not created so far any classes. So we'll say new class, and here I will just use the same name for our class name. We will say Selenium automation web. So we'll select here public static void main, and we'll give a finish. So now this is a complete project, because the project should contain the package and it should contain the class. So now we have this square is our package. So we're not given any package name, so that's the reason it's showing us default package. And the class name is Selenium automation underscore web dot Java. So inside this class is created, and the main function is got created. So inside this class and main function, we are going to write our automation code. So that automation code going to do the testing, web testing, and further we are gonna use the test ng to convert this code into the XML, and from that XML we're gonna create another script that is a batch script, and from that batch script we are gonna run our automation using Jenkins. So in next video we'll see to write a code using Selenium and do the automation testing. Thank you. Hello everyone. In last video we have seen how to create a Java project and add the required jar. So we have focusing on the code in this video. So we have imported the important packages of the Selenium, because most of the functions those we have used in our code is coming from all from Selenium package. So Selenium by, because if you look at here, all these functions are coming from this package. So that's the reason we have imported it org.open.qa.selenium.by, and we have imported the web drive. So this web driver is used to do all the navigation throughout the web page, and specifically we have downloaded the Chrome WebDriver. So every provider, that is web browser provider, have their own drivers, and we have to use appropriate driver in our code, because this browser need to be integrated this code. So that's the reason we need appropriate driver to integrate this browser with our code. So if you are using a Firefox in our QA or in a testing, so definitely we need a Firefox driver. So this time we have used, because most of the function we used, which is coming from the time unit, and that's it. We have a few packages already got imported. Now we have created a class called Selenium automation underscore web, and we have created a main function. In this main function, we have started from system.setProperty WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver, and this is where we have kept the driver of Chrome. So if we go on the Google and say Chrome driver for So it will give a link to download the Chrome driver. So it will take on the page where we have the Chrome driver. So we'll come down, and here we have a Chrome driver, and similarly we have a driver for other major web browser. So this all driver is easily get from the web. So for me, here I have downloaded this exe file and kept here in downloads, and this is a complete path. C drive users Dell downloads, and same we have mentioned in our code. This is the path. We have to make sure here we have to specify double slash, and we have created a driver variable, and we have used that throughout our uh, program. And here we have given one message, system.out.println. So this is going to be printed on the terminal on the output window. And after that, we have used the variable driver, and we have asked to use the function navigate to navigate on this page, Amazon.in. After that, we have asked that implicit wait. So it will wait for 5 seconds to take another action. After that, we have used the driver dot find element. So what we have to find once Amazon page is open, because on Amazon page we have a lot of things, like for example, if I type Amazon.in, so here we have a lot of buttons, like a lot of list and images, clickable, all right, a lot of things are there. So I have to search this because user is going to use this search box to search their appropriate project, appropriate product. So to find the element name of this search box, so we have to just right click, inspect element, and just select this one and click here. So we'll get the ID. So this ID is unique on this page, and this ID is two tab search text box. So we have just copied and pasted here. So our program or code is gonna find this text box, and it's just do the clear. If anything is already there, it's gonna clear that, and after that it's gonna send the new value that is called as Nike shoes. So in search box we'll get a Nike shoes here automatically, and after that it will just click on the button. So this button is gonna find by XPath. So to find the value from XPath that is not available on this page, for that we have to install a small plugin to find the, it's called as Firebug for Chrome. So this Firebug plugin can help us to find the path for that button. So here for Chrome, we have an extension called as Chrome path. So we'll get that Chrome path from this extension, and we can add that extension Chrome path here. And we have also added one more extension, but I don't think so that's required. One Chrome path is enough to find our XPath. So let's look how to use this Chrome path. Let's do right click on inspect element and give a click here on this button, and it says here this is the input. That's fine. Here you will get three dots, that is a option of Chrome path, and here we can say copy XPath. All right, so now the XPath is a value of for this button, search button, and we have mentioned that XPath here, right? So whenever we want the XPath of any element, so if we have installed the Chrome path, we can easily find, let's say example, I want to find the XPath for this. So right click and we'll say XPath. So if you look at for the search box, we have used the ID, but we can use the XPath as well. So just we have to replace the ID by XPath, and we have to click here and paste our XPath over here. So both way fine. And after that, next code is driver dot navigate back. So it will back to original page, that is Amazon.in, and it will just give the title of that page and it will print. And again, we have used a similar set of code to go on the Facebook and write the email ID as sample email ID and password and give a click. And from that point, it will just wait for more 60 seconds and it will just close that page. But in this code, still we are getting here red lines. That means some error is there. So we need to figure out. So we'll not get any problem with the code. So this is a problem of our uh, execution environment. So we have to right click on our Java file, and here we have to say build path, configure build path. We have to click in Java compiler path, and here we have to say enable specific setting. So here we have to set 1.7. That's it. We have to say yes, and now you will see that error is resolved automatically. This is very important. And now we have to save all this. We'll say save all, and just will run this code by clicking on this grey button. So it will take a few seconds to start the execution of this code. So now it's executed. So we can see here the page is automatically open, and it's here Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. That's fine. And now it will load that page, and it will enter the Nike shoes. That's great. So we got a Nike shoes here, and now it's again back on the original page. Now move in facebook.com and give a click. That's it. So far we have tested this code is running fine. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. In this video we are going to create an XML file for this code. Any XML file can be created using test engine. So that's the reason we have included a test engine in our code. So to create an XML file, we have to right click on our Java code, and here we'll get the option test engine, and we have to click on convert to test engine. Here it will ask for number of things. like uh, suit name, test name. All right. So we'll see here. This details is already populated, but the important thing is missing here. That is a class name, not showing here. So we have to cancel it, and we have to do one change over here in our code. We have to add one more line top of this main class. We'll say here at the rate test ng. No need to give ng, so just make it as test. So what it says, need to be import test ng auto auto notation. So we have imported, and then now it's not showing in red. So we have to write at the rate test, and it will Eclipse will automatically import the appropriate package. Now again we'll go on the same steps, right click and convert to test ng. Now this time we can see our class name is populated, but here one thing is very important is class name. So here it's showing me a dot selenium automation underscore web. This is a class name. So here I can check that yes, of course. But why is dot? Dot means here we have to mention the package name, right? So usually this syntax should be a package name dot class name. But in our case, the package name is not there, so we can remove it. So only we have the class name, package name is default. So if we have multiple classes need to be tested, so same we have multiple classes entry will come on the next lines. All right, so here we have only one class, so no need to mention anything here. All right, this looks good. So we have just verified this our test.ng XML file, and we'll just click on finish, and this file got created here. We'll see the path. We'll right click and go in properties, and we'll see here it's created in a same workspace of Selenium by the name test.ng.xml. And if we double click on it, it will provide all the details. So here we have suit, under suit we have name, and name is suit. Under that suit we have a test. Under test we have one class, and that class is with the name called as Selenium automation underscore web. So here guys, we have to just do the small change. We not have any package name, so just remove that dot and save it. Just cross check again. We'll expand this. We'll go in classes, and the class and name. This looks good. So here we have successfully created our. Hello everyone. In this video we are going to see how to create automation testing. So automation testing can be achieved by using Selenium and this Java program as a sample code. But to configure this automation testing, we need testng that we already added. So there is a two option. For example, if you want to add the testng, so if we download it from Eclipse Marketplace, so it will available as a normal library. So we have to click on library, and we have to select next and finish. So it will come here. But you are looking specific version which is maybe not available in the marketplace, then we can go in the Google and download that separately. Like in my example, I have downloaded that over here. This is testng 6.8. So once we have in the download directory, we can click on add external jars, and we can select that test-ng. So it will appear here, and we can give a click. So here Selenium and test-ng, we have added an external jar, and now it's time to create an XML file. So we have to right click on our project, and here we have to say test-ng convert to test-ng. All right, so it will appear like this. And now here the very important thing is that we need to give the proper package name and the class name. So here, if we have the package name, so we have to say package name dot the class name. But in this case, we have only the default package. We not have any appropriate package. I mean the package name. In that case, we can just give the name of our class, and it's very important to remove that dot if we do not have the package name. And just we have to click on next and finish. So this XML file will appear here, and just will manually validate it again. And this will double click on this, and just will make a small changes here. And the change is we need to remove this dot and save the changes. Now we have to just to check whether our XML is working or not. So we have to run it. We will click on run. So here it says test-ng detected version 6.8. So our version is 6.8. Now the same code is running through test-ng. That means test-ng is working fine. All right, and it's printed the all the relevant message on the terminal, and it's working fine. So another important thing, we made the changes in our code is here we have removed the argument, so it should be blank. So make sure if we have something here in the argument, test-ng get failed. So that changes need to be done while doing the test-ng part. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create a script, and through script, we are going to run our test. So first of all, we have to make sure all the required libraries are present in our project. For that, we'll go in our workspace, and in our project, I have created a library, this folder manually, and inside that, I have placed these two important jar files, that is Selenium and test-ng, because when the script will execute, the script needs that all the required jar file. So we have placed in the same project, and how to use it using script. So for that, we have to run this command java-cp and bin. Bin directory by default will be there, and if we just cross check it out, so we have to go it again in our workspace inside our user. This one is different. So all right, so this is our workspace, and here bin is already there, and inside bin will have the dot class file. So path of that bin, and after the library file, and we are giving asterisk, so all the library can be easily accessed. And org.testng is a command we have to run, and we have to give the path of XML file. So already I am in my workspace, so I do not want to give the complete path. So I'm already residing in the same directory. So we just run this command. So this command will have all the access, that is XML access, and also accessing all the binaries and libraries. So it will perform all the operation as we saw by using Java Eclipse IDE. So the same result will get. So we can see here all the output is printed here, and we got an summary, the result run with no failure and no skips. So it's successfully run. Now we have to take this command and create a script. So we'll say save, and we have to save in same workspace. So we'll go in users, and I have the username here and workspace, and this is our project. And here we have to give any name, but also make sure the name we mentioned we have to write in double quote. So we'll say run dot bat. That's it, and just come out and just we'll cross check whether the file get created on the same location. So it's got created here, and it says here Windows batch file. So our batch scripts is ready. So in this video, we have seen how to create a batch script. In next video, we'll use this batch script and we'll schedule in Jenkins. So Jenkins will automatically run the test. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to run the automation testing by using Jenkins. So we'll type localhost port 8080 where our Jenkins is hosted, and this is the dashboard of Jenkins. So here we have option for new items. Here we can add the different people like user management. Here we can see the build history, and manage Jenkins allow us to do the configuration related to all Jenkins options. And we have here credential and my view. So to create any project, we can either click on create a new project or we'll say a new item. It will ask us to define what types of project we want to create. So here we'll say freestyle project, and here it will ask us to provide the project name. So we are doing the project for our uh, this Selenium. So uh, we'll say the same name to our project. Here we'll say mhm. So I'll just copy this and we'll paste it here. We'll say here freestyle project. It will ask us to click on OK. So project name, if we do not want lengthy, so we can say Selenium Auto, and this description we can write. All right, so we have given the description. We'll come down and here we have to select build. In build, we have to say we're gonna run the batch script. So before that, one option we have to specify here, that is use custom workspace. So for workspace, we have to go down. So here we can click in advanced, and here we have the option use custom workspace. So this custom workspace, the area where we have all the scripts. So we have created our script inside our project. So that path will copy, that is in C user and username workspace and the project name. So this will be the our custom workspace area. This is very important because our script is residing in this directory. So that path need to be specified in custom workspace. So once we specify the path, we have to go down, and here in build we have to say window batch command. If we have different options here, then we can say shell. So we are not running this on the Linux, so we are running on the Windows machine, so it will be the batch script. If we are running on the Linux system, in that case it will be our shell script. So here we need to specify our batch script. So our batch script is run dot batch, and after that, if we want post build action, so if we want to send some notification after this build, so we'll say here email notification, and I will just provide my one test email to on this address. All right, so we'll say send the email for every unstable build if it is failed, or send a separate email to the individuals who broke the build. So we have written here email ID, and we'll apply, and we'll save, and will come out. So here workspace got created, and we go on the dashboard, and this one is the old one. So to avoid confusion, I will delete this project, and our one is this test selenium auto test, and it's not run so far. All right, so now project is ready. Now we'll click on build. So once we click on build, it will come here and will go on console output to check the progress. So it says failed because here execute batch command mark the build as failed, sending email ID to this. So something happened here, and it sent the address to on this email ID. So let's go and check our job again. So we'll go on dashboard, we'll go on configuration part. Now we'll check one by one. Here we have given the name, and description we have given. So we'll say test project. Here we have to give a path of our workspace. That looks fine. And after that, we have to provide the command. So here I think it's not required batch. The extension is bat. So now we'll apply and we'll save. Before we run, we'll check our email whether we got any email for last build failed. So I will enter in my email account. I will check. So I got an email. So it says this is a test build from Jenkins, and top of that I get this one. This one is the one for the build failed, and that we got two emails. So this one is the older one, is 1232, and the recent one is this. So it says here the command, this bat is not executed, and run.batch is not recognized an internal and external command. So here we get a clear output why it is failed and all. So this mail is very important. So email notification goes to the appropriate team and concerned members. So that is already we defined in post build option. Now we'll again click on build. Now we'll again check the console output. Now it's running. So here it's printed the message what we have written in our code. Now here it will not going to open the browser and do that all testing, because on Jenkins there will be a lot of jobs is scheduled. So if we run in that manner, so it will consume the more resources and it will be difficult for Jenkins to manage at all. So to manage multiple jobs on the server, we run in the headless mode. So this mode we called as a headless. So where we have only the background things will be running through the command line, and we'll see the results. We will not see here any uh, Chrome or any steps that happening in GUI format, but all the test is going to be carried out. That is for sure. So here it says completed and build is our success, and it says run one and zero failure and sending the email. It's send the email also. So let's check any email we got. So we got an recent email now, and it says Jenkins build back to normal, and it's back to normal. That means succeed. So this is how we do the simple build and check. And this is a complete doing the automation testing unit using Jenkins. So here we have used the Jenkins to run our commands, and that command have all the detail about the code and the execution part. So this is how we can use the Jenkins to test our best website or to test our any automations testing. And here we need to see how the email notification is sent. So for that we have done the configuration. So we'll say manage Jenkins and we'll go in configure system. So that email notification part we are seeing that. So how to do that? So we have to come down and here in email notification in advanced option I have mentioned this all. So here is our SMTP server detail, and here is my user ID and password. So it will use this my user ID and password to send the email notification, and SMTP port number, and we have asked to use SSL. So this all detail we have to first save in system configuration, then email notification will work in our project. And for all the major uh, Gmail, Hotmail, it's openly available. If we have internal Exchange server or email server, those details we can feed here, and automatically mail send can be configured in the projects. And important thing to note here, when we do this configuration here, so by default, Gmail not allow us to perform this option for security reason, because tool cannot be automatically get login on your email ID. So you will get the failed status. So for that, we have to go on this link, myaccount.google.less secure app, and here we have to allow less secure app on. So once we on this part, then it will allow the any application to automatically log in and send the email, because this email is going from our ID. So if you see that this email is coming from this ID, so in my case I have sent the email to my ID, but definitely you can send to other IDs as well. So this is very important to make the email configuration in configure system option. So we have seen here this last build is run on prior 4 minutes and 57 seconds, and the last failure happened this, and total duration difference is this. So this is how we can run the automation testing using Jenkins. Thank you so much.